Today we're going to make some crayfish traps like this one, and they're about half the size of the commercial crayfish traps that you see on the internet. These are called pyramid crayfish traps, and we're going to use them in a stream. Put bait here, crayfish come into these funnels and can't get out, and we'll probably attach a little weight right here and some string to bring it to the shore. Again, it's a small stream with a lot of crayfish in it. It's Memorial Day weekend, and our materials are hardware cloth. It's actually hard plastic hardware cloth. Again, it's about half the size of a normal commercial size. So this is 36 by 18. So you want it about 2 to 1. About 2 to 1. And we're using actually for the mouth gutter, not gutter, but downspout tubing that you put the end of downspouts to direct water, rainwater. And we have ties, wire ties. And so we began by cutting the wire, and now we're going to. The trick here is to first fold it over and zip tie this seam right here. So about like that. Like that. All right, I'm going to zip tie it, and I'll have it done here in a second. Okay, we have the basically a cylinder now with our hardware cloth, and I've zip tied this seam, right? So we'll cut these off, trim them. So you can see I've 5 zip ties will do it on a 18-inch trap. So you snip them. And now what I like to do is make that seam about halfway. Instead of working at the seam like this, where one of the holes will go, I like to put the seam in the middle like this. We're going to zip tie it right about like that, as you can see. All right, and then we're going to zip tie like this, and that's going to create the basic shape of the trap. So you go one way, and then the other creates kind of a pyramid. The hole will go up here at the mouth of the trap. So now, put a zip tie here. Okay. All right, now, as you can see, we've got 2 places where we can push these in and create funnels. All right. And I'll zip tie this a little more, and then I'll show you how I create the funnels in a second. Okay, I've got the this end zip tied. Now, how big should the holes be? Well, crayfish are small animals. I want them to be on the small side. So I tend to just take about 1.5 inches off this side, like this. You can see, create a little angle there. Same way here, about 1.5 inches off the corner. And a pair of tin snips like these really cut pretty easily. Now you can create your inverted funnel for each crayfish, the 2 of the 3 crayfish holes. And I'd like to press here on the seam first, and then push, push, push. Just a little bit more. Don't poke yourself. And there you go. You've got a funnel for the crayfish to go into, but not come out of. All right. And then we'll do the same here. What I like to do is, again, push down on the seam first, and then the mesh itself. Don't poke yourself. It's much easier with plastic hardware cloth as opposed to wire. You might want to wear some gloves if you're going to use wire. And again, there you go. As you can see, crayfish comes in to this fairly small hole, about 1.5 inches, actually 2 inches in inside diameter. Same way here, so you can see. Well, let me get to the camera. There you go. And now we want to take our trap, and instead of go this way to create just a small pillow, you want to go the opposite way from these traps. Create another funnel and the mouth of the trap, this thing. So I'm going to zip tie it and I'll be right back to you. Okay, we've done these two inverted funnels, and now we've zip tied this side for the mouth and for the third inverted funnel. And what we're going to do is, again, cut this hole, about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, roughly. Just kind of eyeball it. And what I've done is put a little zip tie just on the interior side of that, on the outside, so that when you push that in, again, push in with the seam first, like that. There you go. You have a little funnel. And you have your 3 funnels for the base of the trap. This would be the front of the trap right here. And we're going to put a little weight here. And now we got to put the mouth here. And so we're going to use some of this corrugated stuff. We're going to put it right here like that. We've got to cut a hole for it. So let's cut a hole. Let's make it fairly big. Bigger is generally, you hate to cut it twice, so just make it nice and big. Like that. And then kind of curve it. Like that. That's a nice size hole. There we go. See how we did that? And now, all you need to do, well, we haven't put our holes in our mouth yet, so let's do that. I have a Leatherman somewhere. Well, I got to go get my Leatherman. Okay, now we have our mouth of our trap. Here's the trap. I think it's going to fit. Yep, fits perfect. So now what we need to do is put a couple of holes in this, and so I'm going to use my knife, and we're just going to put one hole. Again, be careful, don't cut yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to use the screwdriver portion to make the hole a little bigger for the zip tie. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now all we need to do is put this in here like this and zip tie it. And we have our crayfish trap. All right, let's zip tie the first one. And I like to put my hand through like that. Put it up through. Actually, start all over. And actually, I got it. Put it through. Up. This zip tie is very small. That's the problem. And there we go. Got it. Okay, see? I'll do the other 3, but that's the way it works. All right, here we are. We've got our trap. And what I'm going to do again is put a weight here at the front of the trap. This is the front. Like a sinker. Fairly big sinker. Just tie it right here. And then I'm going to get a coat hanger and bend it into a hook and put it right here, and then bait that hook with a hot dog or something that the crayfish will like. You don't want the bait to come up against the side of the trap and the crayfish to eat that bait from the outside. That can happen from time to time. So you want your bait in the center of the trap. And that's about it. We've got about a half a dozen of these made, and we'll have some crayfish for dinner one night here in June. Thanks. Bye.